Hi guys and welcome back to Planet Coaster. So today we'll be working on installing a tram, like a parking lot tram at the park. Sort of similar, the places I can think of that does this is Busch Gardens, Disney. Those are the ones I know off the top of my head. I'm sure there are other places that do it well, but I love the concept of a parking lot tram. So that's what we'll be doing today. So it's going to be one of three entrances into the park. We're going to have the parking lot tram, the main entrance, which we've already mostly done. I still have to finish the tunnel, that might be an off-camera thing. Or live stream. What do you guys think of live streams? I think live streams might be fun. And bus entrance. So we'll have a bus station somewhere. So I did originally want to run that inside the road, but just because of the angling and how big it needs to be, I went around and did like a separate lane on the outside. And I think in the end it looks good. So just bear with me on that. This gets annoying. I'm trying to figure out lighting because I can't see in this tunnel. Because I'm just sticking this inside of a mountain and letting it be. More or less. We're not going to actually build a proper parking lot for this, as that would be a little insane. What we might do is like a priority parking area. To be determined. So yeah, I just dig out a tunnel, put in a bunch of lights so we can see what we're doing. Roughly, I'll visit back in here a little bit and just hold the light in my hand, I guess. So this station was a little finicky to get to work, just because stations do not cooperate with terrain, which is the most annoying thing, and I wish they did cooperate with terrain in some ways, or at least didn't lock the terrain around them, because it's really hard working with terrain in them. And I didn't really care about too much how it would look on the inside, so I just kind of went ham. Although there was a little hole, I think I fixed it off camera, I can double check later. So, just make the tunnel more tunnely, and close in and make it close around the track as best as I can. And of course testing it to make sure how it looks good, which it does. Yeah. So overall, I went for a very simplistic look for this tunnel, just because of it really isn't that big of a focus. So keeping part count down is important where I can, and considering a tunnel does not need to be too detailed, I might add more details later. I just went with some support pillars and walls. You'll see that a little bit later. I'm going to mention this again later, because I recorded the end of the video already without thinking. But we have a Discord now. So I have a Discord. The channel has a Discord now. I will link that in the description below for you guys to come join. Feel free to come join, talk, give advice, inspiration to others. That's the one big reason behind it, is I love the sharing of inspiration for Planet Coaster. I'm in so many Discords and I love it because there's so much inspiration in there. So of course, making the ground asphalt and just kind of trying to trace out where the tram goes. This here gave me a really hard time, the pathing, because for some reason I didn't want to reconnect. I couldn't quite figure out why, so I just undo and just delete the path. It looks really bad. I fixed it a little bit off camera. I did a little bit of work off camera, and again, I talk about that later, but yeah, so I just undo all the work there and just paint it asphalt, because, I mean, it doesn't look horrible. It doesn't look good. But there is definitely stuff I can do to make it look better. So again, if you guys like the idea of live streams, I would be really happy to do them, because there's a ton of stuff I want to do that I don't think is fitting for a video, which is just like plopping trees. And that could be a good thing where we relax, talk Planco, or talk amusement park, stuff like that, and plop trees while we're at it. I do a lot of trees in this video, in just this area, and I kind of like how it looks. Also, along with this, there will not be a cinematic shots at the end, because I feel like we didn't do enough to warrant. So I'm thinking every other episode there'll be cinematic shots. Also, the colors of these cars, a little iffy to me. What do you guys think? They look a little... Thomas told me they look like the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo, and I kind of agree. That was not what I was going for at all. So first I go for this sort of look of a curved tunnel, and but I decided that looked too castly, and I try again with just the stucco pieces, but then I decided against it once I put in these blocks. Again, the tunnel is very simplistic. It's just functionality, and it's so deep you can't see to the other side, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm thinking about still putting in some things to kind of darken a little, put like some glass or something, because you can still like see it when the tram goes down there, but we'll see. I know some other people have done parks and they put like a black wall in there, and the tram just drives through because they don't care. So here are the support pillars I was talking about. I'm just trying to keep it very simple. I go with the wood pillars. Again, for simplicity, I think I made an error, so I fixed it up. But yeah, not too much detail. I think I added a door. That might have been off camera, I don't remember. But again, just keeping it simplistic, still relatively realistic, but simplicity is the goal. And it does, I know it does clip through that corner in the back there, but it's not noticeable from the outside, so I don't mind. Also, a little headlights on sign. I thought it was cute. It made sense. There would most definitely be a sign there that says keep your headlights on, because there is no lights in the tunnel. And then, yeah, just the door. I actually set that a little bit into the wall again off camera. And of course, adding a little bit of road marking, keeping them, just the lines very simplistic again, because no one sees down there. Up here towards the front, which I'll be doing... Why did I do that? I actually have no clue why I did that, because I also went and repainted it. So here, I really don't like how it looks. It's way too simplistic, actually. So I might come back in later and fix it up a little. It just looks really just kind of half-assed, which, to be honest, it was. I was not in the best just mood while making this. I tried not to let it impact, but it clearly did a little. Yeah, it really doesn't look good. That doesn't look realistic at all, so I might have to take another look at just some inspirational photos, stuff like that. Because it does cross over a road that's being used, so I want to make sure there is a marking. Some sort of marking. So I originally traced this with white. I believe I got rid of the white, and I just went with trees. Not trees, little shrubs. Because shrubs do a lot of work for roads. And I probably went overboard with these shrubs. I didn't do any rotation, so they're all the same, and it's a little upsetting. So again, another thing I might just come back in later and do offset some of them, make them some slightly taller, some slightly shorter, rotate a bunch of them. What was that? Okay. I'm also watching this at a really low resolution so I could render it real quickly so I could talk about over it. Also, I had these oak trees in, and I mentioned it again later. They are very tall for the area, but I like them. I'm not quite sure what I went in there for. I don't know. Okay, so here I'm going in to build a sign. I replaced it, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, just going for a simple yield sign, but there is no yield sign in the game. So the two signs that aren't in the game that would be really useful if they were was a yield sign and a stop sign. And that's a pretty generic sign if you think about it. A lot of countries use a very similar version for those two signs. Of course, the stop might be in a different language, or it might not have the word yield on it, but it exists. So I did find a stop sign on the workshop, actually, and this actually didn't get added in because I only found that, I think, this morning. And I will go and replace those with stop signs after the next incarnation, you'll see, because there'll be another incarnation of it. Also, that line is very, very no good. No bueno. I really have to fix up my road markings, and that just might be an off-camera thing, because road markings are the most interesting of things. So I thought about extending this sidewalk and having the tram come up onto the sidewalk, but I decided against it, and it's just going to become a greenery area. I'm using that same exact wall from before, because I like having the connection of the area, and I think it looks really good. So this whole area, again, is going to be... Wow, that's a really long line. I guess it is the only ride in the park. That would do it, wouldn't it? So hopefully, if I'm lucky, I'm going to get to go to Busch Gardens tomorrow, and I'll be able to take a look at Loch Ness's transfer track for our Aero type coaster, because I want it to very much resemble the concept of the Aero coaster. So it's going to have a very similar type of transfer track. It's going to have similar types of loops, because I did talk about the double interlocking loop as well. Also, these were important to me, because I felt the ceiling came too low where the people came in. And I also like how it adds another little bit of detail without being too detailed. So I went with these little overhangs instead. I think it fits kind of well. Although the support poles, you'll see in a bit, come too far in, I'd say. I'm just, some of the options of things I did, I'm still kind of questioning. I feel like this building was a little bit, I still feel that way about it. What do you guys think of this building? I mean, tell me when you're done. When I'm done with it. Not right now, because it's not done. Also, these little support things I did, I am actually quite happy with them, but they don't come all the way down, and I gotta do that at some point. And then again, just lining it with some more blue. Maybe I should go around the edge of the roof and do that. I feel like that might look good. Also, these supports, I got confused while doing this. I got really confused about angling. So I think I was sitting there just thinking about it for a while. I'm not sure. Yeah, I redo them because it came way too close to the tram. Again, add those support things. I built a little temporary fence. It's a very meh fence, and don't worry, I do get rid of it. It's just a bit of a meh fence. And again, I go for that very similar look that the restroom block has, of the little fence. I don't know if I set the color to what it is, though. I think I just left it white on here. I'm not sure if it is that way on the restroom block. But I really do want to keep the buildings resembling each other in this area, because they were most likely designed to be. I don't know why I was missing those lights. Okay, but yes, these. Keeping with this and I think they provide more than enough light. They look very nice, and they provide a moderate amount of light, but just enough for, I'd say, a tram station. And I think we went overboard in some areas with light, just looking at the rest of the park. And again, adding concrete. So my biggest problem is those paths, you see the ones with curbs, you cannot get rid of the curbs because they're an elevated path, which is quite annoying when you're doing something like this. And it goes back to the station being at a slightly wonky height, and you can't work with the terrain around it. So this is why I'd like for the terrain to be, you know, malleable while working with these station things. Again, the fencing in here got rid of that little annoying fence. And yeah, I think this looks okay, although it feels very empty. I mention this again later. If you guys have anything I can fill in with the concrete areas, like, I'm thinking maybe getting rid of the concrete and putting just shrubs. That always works. But I am not sure. I'm thoroughly not sure. And I go ahead and grab a bench, make sure it's the same color. Seating is important. Again, I would like it if that path was not the way it was. That way I could put them on the corner, stuff like that. But I can't. I originally thought of putting a Planet Coaster sign, but it's like, it's too big. It's just way too big. So I go in and add these little, those signs. And again, I have mixed feelings about them. They're big. They're cool. They're cool, I like them. But they just kind of don't fit in a way. And I had a fourth one later, which again, I feel the same attitude about. So again, adding just some shrubs, making it green. Green is important. Also, I love this oak tree. Again, it's another very out of place tall oak tree. But I love it. Trying to make the path look nice, I never really do it. It always looks kind of meh. And what I'm thinking in that area is just gonna be a bunch of greenery. Maybe I can stick a Planet Coaster guy there, like the Planet Coaster. I don't know. Maybe we'll find something cool down. Maybe a fountain. Fountains are cool. So I'm thinking of making a custom fence for this area. And I think this fence looks really nice, but I don't remember why. But I decided against it. I think it's because we're going for more of a upscale park, so I wouldn't have one of these really raggedy fences. Although I do love that fence, so we're probably going to do something similar again later. But we go in, we make walls that kind of resemble the building, the restaurant block, and we line the back of there. And I actually really like these walls. But I come in later off camera, and I'm going to talk more about it later, and repaint them. And I do it off camera because it took me 20 minutes or so to just repaint all those, because I did it a few times trying to find the correct shade and all that. And I'm happy with the result. You'll see it in a bit. Again, just dotting some bushes, adding some greenery, making it look kind of nice, adding the ivy on the walls. It's magical because it really helps the walls disappear. Not just because you're covering the wall, because you're adding something green so it looks like the green continues, and I really like that effect. Also, I like these flower bushes. They use the same sort of blue. They're perfect, and I spend a lot of time on this, and you won't be able to hear it. Music. One thing you notice in big amusement parks, and even small ones, there's always music. There's always music near the entrance that are like the theme song of the park. So I use Welcome to Planet Coaster, if I remember correctly. And I really like how this sounds. This one, I struggled to figure out how to hide it, because it's not going to just be a lone speaker sitting there. So I think, oh, I'll put a sign that says Welcome to Aurania Gardens. And I'm like, oh, the sign's way too big and would be very stupid. So I instead put that there with some TVs that just have the Aurania Gardens logo. I don't like them. So if you guys please know any way I could cover them, I'd be very grateful. Alright guys, so I did some various work off camera, because I finished recording and then I decided these few things need to get done, and I just for some reason didn't record doing it. So one of those things is right here. I replaced those really ugly yield sign with also ugly signs, but these flash in the dark. So if I set it to nighttime real quick, before the tram comes, and so you'll see they flash, and it's a stop and flashing. I thought it looks a little nicer. I used a railroad crossing I made in the past. I really don't like how they look. They need a lot of work. I kind of model them after ones, but for some reason we don't have a stop sign in the game. I don't completely understand that, but so we'll see what we can do there. That might change again. Oh, apparently this also broke down. That's unfortunate. Over here, if I make it back today, I repainted that wall. So now it is Disney's signature Go Away Green, but in Planet Coaster. It's not the actual shade they use, I'm sure, but it's a close similarity that still more or less works very similar. I also added more ivy to help hide the wall a little bit better, but you really don't notice it, and I kind of like it. Also this, I hate a lot, and if anyone knows in the comments what I can do about this, I really wouldn't know what to put in this area. I would like to just leave it like a big open area, but since I can't get rid of these pieces, there's nothing I can do. Same thing with this, I really don't like it. I need something. But yeah, so if you guys in the comments know anything I can do in those areas, I'd be very grateful. Overall, this actually looks really nice. I like this tree, even though it's a little big. It does stand out. Your eyes are kind of drawn to it. I want to put one on that side to kind of balance the area, and then some sort of a weenie down here eventually. Don't know what the weenie's gonna be. I was thinking a big sign because I'm boring. I kind of like this. Not sure if it's going to be turned into asphalt or remain as the ride track. Also, this building was never completed. I'll do that off camera. It just needs to go in the ground a little bit and put some scenery here. Also, I was thinking about doing live stream. Scenery live stream, probably just greenery, doing like these little patches and stuff. Also, over here, next episode will be over here because I'm putting off the vintage pack. And I'm sure I spoke about this earlier, but I haven't actually recorded the audio yet. We'll do a bus station, because I'm very much in the mood for more transport things. I've been watching a lot of Disney videos about Disney's parks, hence where the Go Away Green came into play. Also, there is a Discord. Yes, I made a Discord. The Discord is still a work in progress, but it will be linked in the comments section, even if it isn't done by the time this video comes out, and knowing me, it probably won't be, but it should be. We'll see. It's in a good enough state as it is to be used, but it's not in a state where I'd like it. So that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.